Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Smarketing CONNECT podcast. Our episodes in this segment will be geared toward live action case studies. So rather than read them, we want to tell you about them. My guest today is Rachel Leone, and I'll let Rachel introduce herself and what she does before we get started. So, Rachel, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you today, Tom. I own Leone Marketing Solutions. We do promotional products and apparel. We've been doing this for 18 years, and we love what our clients, and we love what we do. And I'm happy to be here again today.
Excellent. Now, real quick question, and we'll make this fast, everybody. But Rachel, is there a particular style of client that you like working with, whether it be size or vertical market or anything like that, before we get into it?
I like to work with marketing directors, marketing managers, small business owners, and new trend we saw this year was director of HR, and I'll explain why when I do my case study.
Very cool. Very cool. So like you just alluded to, we're going to get right to it. So what we're doing here today is we're going to go through a live action case study. So Rachel's going to give us basically what we typically would see in writing in a blog form or something like that, where you could download case studies to learn more about people. We just decided to do it live. So Rachel's going to walk us through one of her case studies, and I'll turn it over to Rachel. All you, go for it.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. So my case study today is going to be my corporate client. Our problem this year was, last year, I should say, was events went away. We couldn't do in-person events. So how are we going to solve the problem to keep our employees engaged? So Leone Marketing kind of coined this term brand in a box, where we helped our clients stay engaged with their employees through these brand in a box. So one of our corporate clients located in the South, I'm going to show you a kit here. They did this awesome kit to all their employees. They couldn't do their employee events. They did a big Zoom call and they had fun little breakout sessions on it. But everybody got a note from the CEO just saying like, thank you for, tough year. We appreciate you. They got popcorn, a branded chocolate bar, and a branded tumbler. So it kept them engaged still. They felt appreciated. They were talking to the CEO. He was thanking them. But instead of doing their big employee event, at a local hotel, they did it at home safely. So the problem was they couldn't do in-person events, but they were able to still have their employees engaged through this brand in a box. And it really worked out well. And employees definitely felt like they were appreciated. And, actually had more time with their CEO than they would have had at an in-person event.
Very cool. So how was the company's reaction to that? Like I'm assuming they liked it, but how did they feel it was really a solution?
The company loved it. They're actually doing another one in a few months. And so I mentioned my director of HR connection. So, in years past, you just send all the supplies to the conference center. Well, this year you can't anymore. You have to send everything to their home. And the number one question was, well, how do you get the home addresses? So director of HR comes in, they send me an Excel spreadsheet with, 3,000 addresses on them. And then we pick and package, ship them out. And then I have to sign a non-disclosure saying I'm not going to sell these addresses. And at the end of the event, I have a shredder over here and I just shred them. So no information is shared. But that was a very different transition for us this year because we had to find a way to keep these employees engaged by doing it at home instead of actually in person. And it worked with my nonprofit clients and also my university clients.
So I guess another quick question would be, so you just explained how a corporation can use your brand in a box to keep their employees engaged. Have you seen a similar trend when it comes to companies using that to engage prospects or clients?
Absolutely. A few of my manufacturing clients started doing this early in the pandemic, last April, where everybody was home and everybody loved to get stuff in the mail because, we're nothing else to do. So a lot of my clients for prospecting reasons did these brands in a box where they sent out some really fun creative gifts. They did, of course, food like mints and snacks and popcorn and cookies and mugs and coffee. And we got very creative and they had really great results because when they answered the call, they were like, oh, you sent me that fabulous box. Thank you so much. My kids enjoy the cookies. My kids love the popcorn. So they were appreciative and took that phone call. Whereas it might have been a harder prospect if they were going into the office. Everyone was just so busy. So we saw a lot of success with that early on, with people being really appreciative of getting gifts at home. It was a little tricky getting the addresses, but we actually found some workaways, around that. Very cool. People were willing to share it, as I should say.
Yeah. So ultimately the problem being we can't really be in person anymore. We can't have these big events. You brought the event to their home in a fashion that made them feel very welcoming and included in the customer / employees. and then the customers found that they're doing it again. It couldn't have been terrible if they're doing it again. So
Right,
I,
right.
I commend you. I commend you on the creativity. I definitely don't think of a lot of people would have thought of that, in trying to pivot their company so quickly. So I think it's fabulous. And Rach, thank you so much for being on the podcast with me. Any last comments before I close out?
Anybody wants to talk to me, I'm happy to talk. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Pinterest, I'm on LinkedIn. You can email me, Rachel, Rachel, at leonemarketing.com. And also I want to add too that alcohol, we did a lot with branded wine this year. And that was a big one this year as well. So if anybody wants to hear about my branded wine options too, we can do a follow-up podcast on that. I'm
Yeah.
happy to talk about that. So this was really fun. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime, anytime. And again, if nothing else, you will also find Rachel on Smarketing CONNECT as one of our premier providers in the marketing side of our platform. So
I love Smarketing.
thanks. And Rachel, thank you very much again for being on with us. And so long, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Have a great day.